Why KOS David-RAY? Well, when I first saw him on the game, my first reaction was revenge! Because he's a lying, sabotaging, backstabbing, narcissistic parasite. But that's not all. You know, it's like he looked down his nose at me and ridiculed me and criticized me for still playing this game. We used to play this game together, but I guess he got bored with it or whatever, I don't know. But then he would make fun of me and look down his nose at me for playing the game. And now he's back playing the game, and I'm like, and now he's like a level 24 peon, and I just want to crush him because he fucked me over. I thought he was out of my life for good, but now he's back in my life again. You know, and we used to be close. We used to be tight. He used to call me his best friend, but I don't think we were ever really friends. I think he was just using me. And a small part of me misses that friendship I thought we had. But, you know, yeah. I have to remind myself that he was probably never my friend. He's a narcissist. He just was using me. Narcissists look at people like vacuum cleaners. You're just a tool. You're just someone or something for them to use for their benefit, and once you are no longer useful, they discard you. That's what narcissists do. I didn't used to know much about narcissism, but I've been studying it, and I'm still not an expert. But, you know, like I said, a small part of me thinks, you know, hey, maybe, you know, we could be friends again, blah, 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 but I don't think we were ever really friends. I think he was just using me. But anyway, so his coordinates are currently approximately 200 60 Wellington. And give or take, it's actually just shy of that. It's like 190, 195, and 55 or whatever. 260 will put you over to the right. And then 190 or 185, 55 will put you over where I am now in the picture. But anyways, that's not all. Why he probably shouldn't be in this game is because there's a lot of kids playing this game. And I've compiled a lot of evidence to this. And he's been basically kicked off of Discord and run out of other public places by parents and authorities due to inappropriate behavior around children. And I understand it's not his fault, sorta. You know, he's like a 6-year-old trapped in a 60-year-old body. And it's not his fault that his father abused him as a child and caused a narcissistic injury and basically groomed him to be a groomer. Now, I don't want anyone to verbally attack or accuse him of anything like that. But if he does perform unethical activities, then document it. And basically his full name is David Ray Harriet. He was born September 7th, 1964. And this is his phone number. 417-876-7288. So you can use that information once you document the evidence and report it to authorities. Again, don't confront him about it. Don't attack him verbally, because it won't do any good. This guy is very smart, manipulative. He's dumb common sense wise, but intellectually he's smart. He's good at navigating and playing people. He played me for 10 years. So, not quite 10 years, probably more like 8. I started catching on maybe halfway through, but it didn't really start sinking in until about 3/4 of the way through our friendship, or our so-called friendship. But anyway, so just tread lightly, beware. If you're a minor, totally beware of this guy. And like I said, if you catch him doing any unlawful activities, document it and report it to the authorities. As far as, you know, game rules, do whatever you want. I don't care. He has no protection. And he's kind of a pussy. So, he's smart, he's good at navigating things, but he's a wimp. So, he talks a good talk, but he don't walk the walk. But anyhow, I guess that's about all I got to say about that. PPP stands for Peaceful Poco Patches. I think his grandmother came up with that name, or at least that's the story. He's got a lot of stories, and they're probably about 10% true. But he seems to be really attached to that name. I bought the domain name. I've got it redirected somewhere, I don't know. But probably the old farm website. But pretty much everything he says is a half-truth. For example, I'm sure he's, I don't know what he says about me. I know he goes around airing my dirty laundry, which I don't even hide. I mean, it's like half the people that he tells my dirty laundry to, they're like, yeah, I know. And then they turn around and tell me that he's talking shit on me. So, that's why I got rid of him. It wasn't the pedo stuff initially. So the story was, whenever I first started talking to him, because he was a friend of a friend. But then I took him under my wing because, according to him, his new stepfather framed him and put kiddie porn on his computer. And then his mother got mad and basically threw him off the family farm. This dude would have inherited 500 acres. And he lost it because he's a worthless eater and a parasite and a pedo. He's just a disgrace to society. But anyways, I believed his story. He's like, oh, my stepdad is trying to liquidate my mom's assets and take it all for himself. When it actually wasn't the case. But that was his story. And then, he talks about his ex-wife being a crack whore who's destitute and homeless. And I actually tracked her down and done my own research. And she's like a successful businesswoman in California making over 6 figures. This guy's a homeless person, basically mooching off of whoever will listen to his, what do they call it? Vulnerable narcissistic story. He's always got to be the victim. So now that we had our falling out, I'm the bad guy, and he's painted me as this evil, who knows what, dictator. He called me Hitler, and no, he didn't call me Hitler. I don't remember what he said, but it kind of reminds me of the liberals who hate Trump, and they're like, oh, he's worse than Hitler, and it's like Hitler's far worse than Trump. Trump may not be perfect, Trump may not be great, but he's no Hitler. But anyways, yeah, basically David-RAY referred to me as such, and to some friends of ours, and of course they told me, and they pretty much tell me everything, so it's whatever. I pretty much documented everything, and I really don't care anymore. He's a narcissist. I'll put a link in the description of How to Identify and Deal with Narcissism by Jordan Peterson. I love it. I study it as much as I can so I can learn to deal with these type of people. But anyway, yeah, right now he's mooching off of this other woman. But when that doesn't pan out, and it won't, it'll eventually fizzle out. They've been together for a few years now. But eventually, she'll get tired of his bull crap, and she'll get rid of him, and then she'll be the bad guy. But he's basically homeless. He just mooches, bounces from one person to the next person, mooching and taking advantage of them until he can't suck them dry anymore, and then he moves on to the next person, which is basically what happened to us. I started catching on to his crap, and then then after we had our falling out, a whole bunch of people came out of the woodworks wanting to talk to me about the pedo stuff, and that's when I put all the evidence together and documented all the evidence on all the pedo stuff. And then I went back to his family and started talking to his family, and that's when I did the research on the ex-wife and the kids. And his kids are some of his kids anyways, I don't know, he supposedly talks to his daughter, but apparently his kids are terrified of him, or at least his boys are. So I don't know I don't know all the details. I just know he can't be trusted. So if you see any nefarious activities, document it, report it to the authorities. I've already given you the information. Otherwise, you know, KOS him, rate him, I don't care, do whatever you want. But just keep an eye on this guy. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna ignore him, most likely, and just keep doing my own thing. But I don't know. I might rate him myself. I haven't decided yet. But my first reaction was KOS, because you know, revenge. You know. But what does the Bible say? Revenge is mine, saith the Lord. But I don't know. I still want revenge. But the best revenge is success. And I'm like 20, more than 20. I'm like 20,000 times more successful than him. And he's smart. Like I say, he does a lot of research, and that's probably his best attribute. He's like really intellectually smart. If you need him to research something, he'll go and research. Well, maybe he'll go and research it. But he might have already researched it, and he can give you the data. Now, it may not be 100% on point, you know, because it's like he acts like he knows all these things, like he's some kind of god. But he just read it in a book somewhere. It doesn't mean that he actually knows it, because he doesn't actually have practical application experience. He just reads a lot. That's it. There was this, hang on, let me see if I can find it. I posted this on Facebook one time, but it was a long time ago. Meme. Boom, here it is. Okay, this was David-RAY and me. Okay, I had to edit something on the video, so I'm adding this little tidbit. David Ray was also born in California. He now resides in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. So, yeah, if you need to document any evidence and report it to the authorities, that information might be useful. He grew up in California. He, once his mom found out about his dad and his dad's activities with David Ray, and David Ray's peers, because like I said, he was grooming him to be a groomer, and he was basically using him to go out and collect other kids for his father to play with. Once his mother figured that out and caught on to what was going on, she basically moved David Ray. She divorced him and moved David Ray to from California to Wisconsin. And then she ended up getting remarried, and then they moved just outside of Kansas City. I forgot the name of the town. Lone Jack or Blackjack. I think it's Lone Jack. Can't remember. Anyways, just east of Kansas City. Then David Ray joined the Navy, met his wife, had some kids, was in California till they got divorced. Then he went back to Missouri. Oh, and he got dishonorable discharge from the military, although the way he tells the story, they wanted him but he rejected them. But it is actually the other way around. That's what narcissists do. They will project what they're doing onto other people. So anything a narcissist says about someone or you, they're doing themselves, or they have done themselves. So it's deflection and projection. They're deflecting your attention off of them and projecting it onto someone else. That's what narcissists do. Anyhow, so yeah, then I guess his original stepdad passed away. I think before David Ray got divorced and moved back to Missouri. He moved back to Missouri and was basically just a leech. Then his mom got remarried again. Then they found out about the pedo stuff, and they basically got rid of him for pretty much the same reasons I got rid of him. So I got rid of him the same reasons his family got rid of him. You know, he was a worthless eater and the pedo stuff. So, and then that's when he came into my life, because he claimed that his dad was, or his stepdad was, framing him, when it turns out it was actually true all along. You know, so, but he wanted to deflect and project that his stepdad was framing him when he was actually doing what he claims he was framed in doing. And I've had some red flags along the way, like when we were living in Eldo originally. The cops ran him off of the local park because of inappropriate or whatever behavior around minors. He wasn't actually doing anything, but he was insinuating or acting as if he was interested in doing something. So he never got busted, but if the cops would have waited and kept an eye on him, they probably could have or would have busted him for something. But instead, they ran him off prematurely. Later, he got ran off from a park in Stockton, Missouri, by a bunch of adults because of unethical behavior around children. Jerry Diamond brought some evidence to me. Another friend of ours named PJ brought some evidence to me. From what I understand, another narcissistic friend, or so-called friend of ours, she had some information that she brought to a friend who brought to me, and then someone else in the community, the Stockton, Cedar County community, brought some information to me. And so then I basically went back to his family and started doing some more homework on the whole pedo thing. And that's when the gloves came off, the can of worms was open, and that's when I went postal on the dude and threw him off my property. You know, so it wasn't, you know, I mean, I put up with the lies, I put up with the backbiting and the backstabbing, I put up with some of the sabotaging. I didn't really realize how much he was sabotaging me. Yeah, I put up with a lot of that stuff because I thought he was my friend. But then, when I started to realize the truth, that's when I got rid of him. And I wanted to make sure I got rid of him in a way that he won't try to weasel his way back. So I just went postal on him. I was like, ah! And his stepdad, his second stepdad, was notorious for burning things. He had a burn pit, and anything that he didn't want, need, or approve of went in a burn pit. And he either burned or tried to burn a bunch of David Ray's devil worship stuff and other things. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so when I was done with him, that's what I basically threatened to do. I was like, I'm gonna burn everything. I'm selling and burning everything. So I went ape shit. And but yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got him as far away from me as possible, because I was like, this dude is so fake, so phony. He is not who I thought he was. He is not who he claims to be. He is dark, very dark. So anyway, there's other David Ray Harriets, or David Harriet. No, not David Ray Harriets. I think he's the only David Ray Harriet. But anyways, like I said, if you see any nefarious activity, document it, report it to the authorities, because this guy can't be trusted around children. I don't have any evidence that he's actually done anything. I only have evidence that he's looked at and made attempts, or made partial attempts. But like I said, the guy's a pussy. You know, he probably doesn't have the balls to go through with anything. He just plays with the idea. But again, I don't know. You know, he could just be really good at hiding things, because like I say, he's been scrubbing the internet of everything he can about his identity. So he's probably scrubbed evidence that would incriminate him. So yeah, I have some evidence, not enough to like convict him in court or anything, but I have some witnesses, I have evidence to basically show he can't be trusted and you got to keep an eye on him. So anyways, yeah, David, and David was the farm that we had together. The third David was the guy that I met David-RAY through. My full name is David Michael Kane O'Doherty, so I'm also a David. So, like I said, this guy talks a good talk, but yeah, you just got to keep an eye on him. Anyways, back to the original video. This was David-RAY and me. David-RAY is the book smart. I'm not really that book smart or that street smart. My brother's probably more street smart, and I'm more in between. But anyways, so this basically sums it up. So David-RAY is the smart person, and I was more of the street smart person. And if he wasn't a lying, backstabbing, sabotaging narcissist, we probably still would be friends. I would have probably never got rid of him. You know, I did rely on his intellect, probably a little too much. And I did maybe put him up on a pedestal a little too much. Gave him a God complex that he probably already had, but I didn't help matters much. You know, he basically needs someone to hold his hand and get him through life. And he does have some stuff to contribute, but it's not enough because he doesn't actually apply himself, and he doesn't actually do anything with his life. Just a moocher. And you know, like I said, if he didn't sabotage me, talk shit on me, backstab me, and he didn't do all that crap to me, I would have never got rid of him, you know. But he was working on monkey branching to somebody else. And so I kind of understand why he talked shit on me. Because he knew he was wearing out his welcome where he was. And like I said, if he wasn't doing those things, I would have never got rid of him. You know, I would have just let him be a bum on my 15 acres. I even offered to give him, I got this other property that I own 10% of, and I even offered to give that to him for just the cost of just the closing cost. So that land I paid $5,000 for, the 10%. I bought into this sustainable community bull crap. Turned out to be a scam. But anyway, I still own 10% of it. And I paid $5,000 for it. It was probably only worth 2 or 3 at the time. But now it's probably worth $10,000. But anyways, I offered to just give that to him. I offered to gift it to him. All he had to do is pay the closing costs. And he wouldn't do it. He didn't do it. So, I don't know. Dude's not that smart. But if he did, then he would have at least a tangible asset to call his own. But nonetheless, like he says, I would have let him be a bum on my 15 acres like he likes to be. If he didn't, stab me in the back. If he wasn't sabotaging me and talking shit on me. But I understand why he was talking shit on me, because he had to, as a vulnerable narcissist, he had to make people feel sorry for him so that he could monkey branch to somebody else. And that's why he talked shit on me and painted me as the bad guy. Well, it's stock time. So I'm going to end this at that note. But like I said, if you see any nefarious activity, document it, report it to the authorities. It doesn't help to say anything, because he'll just, figure out how to evade the situation. He's been scrubbing anything and everything about him off of the internet since I've known him. He's been actively scrubbing his existence or anything about him off the internet. So, and I'm sure some of it was nefarious. Like I said, I've got evidence to all that stuff, and I'm sure my list is minuscule compared to reality. And again, I understand it's not necessarily his fault that his father created this monster called David-RAY. But he's an adult, and he needs to be accountable and responsible for his own actions. And he doesn't choose to be. And I understand it's difficult for narcissists to do that, because they don't live in reality. They live in their false world that they created with their false self that they have to protect at all costs. And David-Ray's false self is much like Jerry Diamond's false self. So Jerry Diamond's a narcissist too, but a different kind of narcissist. Look up on YouTube How to Get Out of Babylon, and you'll get an idea of what this guy is like, because Jerry Diamond is very much like David-Ray. But anyway, I think that's his YouTube channel, How to Get Out of Babylon. Let's look it up real quick. Oh yeah, they both use the Bible as a front as well. The difference is, well, I don't know about Jerry Diamond. The difference is David-Ray doesn't even believe in the Bible. He doesn't believe that we were created by God. He believes that we were created by aliens or recreated by aliens. So that's fake too. He pretends to be a, Christian, but really, I don't know what he is. But anyhow. So yeah, this is Jerry Diamond. this other guy wrote the book, but he didn't want it in his name. So Jerry Diamond is I forgot what that's called, where you have someone else as the author when to conceal your identity. But Jeremiah Elliott is his chosen biblical name, but Jerry Diamond is his birth name. And Jerry was really smart too, though. Both of them were really smart, but both of them were narcissists, and you got to watch out for both of them. Well, Jerry Diamond's dead. He passed, I think, this year or last. But David Ray is still with us. Probably will be for another 10 or 20 years. You know, I try not to wish harm on people. But some people, you know, it's like, okay, last but not least, I try to live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. But I have a reverse philosophy as well. Okay? You treat others as you would like to be treated. But if other people treat you like crap, then they're basically, if you observe the golden rule, they're basically treating you the way they want to be treated. You know? So, you should treat them like crap. If they're narcissists, then you should treat them like narcissists. Because they're going to treat you like garbage. They're going to use you and discard you. So, yeah. Anyway. So that's all I got to tell you about that. Just watch this guy. Don't trust him. Tread lightly. And if you see any nefarious activities, document it and report it. Alright, party on.